Start.
Yes.
Om Sahana Bharat is a land of festivals. There are some festivals where we do fast, we pray, we express our gratitude towards Mother Nature, five elements, and also other beings. We have specific assigned days and period for each and everything. One such unique feature of our culture which attracts all is the Shraddha Paksha. We always wonder what happens to our near and dear ones when they live this Mother Earth. So, Chinmaya Mission Mumbai has organized a talk to throw light on this topic. I request Bill to welcome all and also give some more guidance about Chinmaya Mission activities and the event that we have planned. Over to you, Meghnaji.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. My humble to Swami Swatma and Hari Om to one and all attending today's program on Shraddha Karma, why and how. Chinmaya Mission is a worldwide spiritual organization having more than 300 centers in more than 25 countries. We have many ashrams, temples, schools, colleges. Recently, Chinmaya University also has been established. The Chinmaya is to give. Chinmaya Mission Mumbai has 8 zones covering different areas of Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. We have activities and classes for all age groups, starting with Shishu Vihar, Bal Vihar, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, Chinmaya Setukari, study groups, Devi groups, and Vanaprasthas. Chinmaya Mission Mumbai is also into social activities, and we have served and contributed to the needy during COVID times. This year, Chinmaya Mission Mumbai has organized 2 programs. The first one being today's online talk by our Chinmaya Mission Swamis and a Q&A session which we are having right now. The second program will be on Sunday, 25th September on Amavasya, when we shall be doing Shraddha Puja at a hall in Juhu. This will be a rare opportunity to perform the Shraddha Puja, pay homage, and seek the blessings of our ancestors. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji has said, religion should not be mere practice, but a faithful and constant atmosphere around our head and heart. So in today's session, let us learn about why and how of Shraddha Karma, as well as about Marnantar Gati, and then strengthen the faith by practicing and performing pujas like Vishnu Puja, Pitru Tarpan, Pindadan in a systematic Vedic manner on Sunday, 25th September in Juhu. For those who do not recite or perform the Shraddha Puja, we can arrange for a Pandit who can perform the puja for your ancestors on your behalf. Those interested may please call our sevaks, Srimati Shri Kachwala or Shri Pankaj Vakil, whose numbers are mentioned on the flyer, which we will share at the end of the talk. Once again, a warm welcome to one and all for today's interesting talk. And now I request our secretary, Srimati Manisha Devle, to formally introduce our speakers. Hari Om.
Hari Om. I have this pleasant duty of introducing Swamijis. Swami Swatmananji, most dynamic leader of Chinmaya mission. He did his Vedanta course in 1998-2000 batch, and since then he's guiding and leading Mumbai team from the front. He's popular with kids, youth, adults, devis, and seniors. Why? Because he speaks language which they all understand. Right now, Swamiji is Acharya for the 13th batch of Youth Empowerment Program at Vibhuti. In fact, he has joined from there. He uses all platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. He uses all the mediums like theater, plays, treks, outbound and adventure activities, meditation retreats, and attracts one and all. We are very fortunate to have him as a leader and a speaker for the talk today. Now, from Amchi, Mumbai, let's go a little south and to God's own country. Yes, CIF, Valianar, birthplace of Adi Shankaracharya. Swami Shraaddha is joining from there. Swamiji joined 2002 batch of Vedanta course under Swami Ishwaranandji. Prior to joining here, he has learned Advaita Vedanta from Shivananda Ashram and Yoga from Bihar School of Yoga, Munger. Swamiji is a postgraduate in Advaita Vedanta and ranks first at all India level and a gold medalist from Rashtriya Sanskrit Samsthan, New Delhi. Swamiji assisted Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji for the 13th Vedanta course and was Upa Acharya for the 15th Vedanta course in Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. He was Acharya for Purohit course batch in 2010. After receiving sannyas in 2014, he is there at CIF and he is a member of Academic Council of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapit. Swamiji conducted Vedanta course in Malayalam from 2018 to 2020. Swamiji is an artist. It is a pleasure to watch him perform puja. When he offers Nevedyam, it is like a dancer doing her mudras. It is really fascinating. So we are very lucky to have Swami Swatmananji and Swami Shraaddha to address us today. I request Swami Shraaddha to please take over and start your talk. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om. Am I audible? Sada Shiva Samadambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Hari Om. Pranams to all of you on this auspicious occasion of the Pitr Paksha. I'm asked to speak about two things. One is what is the concept of life after death in our Indian tradition, and what is the role of the Pitr Paksha and offering the the Shraaddha karma, and all that. Why we should do this, and what is the concept of our Pitr Paksha? I'm sure many of us might have read the book, very famous book, the Book of Dead, from the Tibetan traditions, etc. We hear so many things, so sometimes we get confused. What is the first we will discuss about this aspect of, according to different so first we will discuss about body. So Kaivalya Moksha, they say that a person who has realized the Satchidananda Atma, Brahma, Paramatma, that person, he natasya pranaha utkramandi. That person who's realized Satchidananda Paramatma as one's own self, he has no gati. He is not going to anywhere because he has realized the supreme truth, become one with Brahma eva bhavati. So there's no going, there's no coming. No, his body goes back into this world, Panchabhutas. That Atma has already became one with the Satchidananda Swarupa. That's it. The body is disintegrated. The Atma is already realized the Brahman. So Atma become one with the Atma is one with the Brahman. And then, so such a Gadi is Kaivalya Moksha. So the Moksha is of different kind. So a realized master, when he leaves the body, then there is no more going, coming, nothing. He becomes one with the Supreme Self. So this is not the Paramagati. Yad Gatva Nivartande Tadhama Paramamama. We hear in Gita, Sri Bhagavan says that the Paramagati, where there is no going, there is no coming, he becomes one with the Supreme Self. So known as Kaivalya Moksha. Now comes the second kind of Gati, known as the Krama Mukti. What is Krama Mukti? We are all striving to realize the supreme truth. We are doing sadhanas, we are doing Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, everything. But before we really experience this oneness with the Supreme, because of the Shraaddha, if our body falls, suppose our body is fallen, and we are not able to realize the supreme truth, then what happened to us? The Upanishad says that Vedanta Vijnana Sudhischitārtha Sannyasa Yoga Yataya Shuddha Sattvaha Te Brahmaloke tu Parantakale Paramrutat Parimuchyandi Sarve. Means such people, a sadhaka who is doing his best to realize the supreme truth, but because of his prarabdha, his body falls before he realizes the Paramatman. There's no desire in his heart other than moksha. Such a jiva, what happens to him? He enters into Brahmaloka, Satyaloka. In that Satyaloka, he resides, and there are two options. One, he resides with Brahma, Paramatma, the creator, and at the time of when creator Brahma also gives up his upadhi, that time he became one with Paramatma. Or many siddhas, they practice they continue their upasanas, their Shravana Mananadi, their Brahmachintanam in the presence of Paramatma, Brahma himself, and then from the Brahmaloka he gets Parabhakti, Paramukti, liberation. So that is known as Karma Mukti. Step by step he gets. Now comes a third Gati, known as the Prakriti Laya. Anybody who has studied the Ishavasya Upanishad, there Bhagavan Shankaracharya also speaks about a Prakriti Laya. What is Prakriti Laya? Prakriti Laya is something like the Nirvana of Buddhists. No? In Buddha Sampradaya, Jaina Sampradaya, they talks about a Nirvana. Nirvana, they become one with the Shunyam. But in our spiritual, in our Vedantic tradition, that is not considered as the highest. But they talk about Prakriti Laya, where this Jiva, once he, because of his upasanas, etc., he become one with the Prakriti. Because the Jiva became one with the Prakriti, kind of a Shunya Avastha, like how we go into the deep sleep, Sushupti, like that, the Jiva goes into a long Sushupti until and unless the next creation begins. But next creation, when the Prapancha starts to come out of the Prakriti, the Jiva also has to come. But up to that, this Jiva will become one with us, like a, as a long sleep, he goes into the Prakriti layer. This is the third Gati. Now, fourth Gati is known as the Ishta Devata Loka Prapti. Suppose I am not interested to, don't they say, I want to taste the sugar. I don't want to become sugar. There are people like that. So they want to be with their Ishta Devata, whether it is Vishnu, whether it is Shiva, whether it is Krishna, Rama, Devi. So they want to go into the locus of that Devatas. Because of their Upasana Shakti, because they have no other desires, and they have done so much of Upasana, they enter into the locus of such Devatas, like Vishnu, according to their Ishta Devata, whether it is Vaikuntha, whether it is Kailasa, and their Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya Mokshas they give. According to the power of their sadhana, they enter into the loka, or they become very close to Bhagavan, their Ishta Devata, and then also they sometimes, if their upasana is very high, they even gain the Sarupya Moksha. Just like the Ishta Devata also, they become the mirror images of the Ishta Devata. This is known as the Ishta Devata Loka Prapti. So this is the fourth Gati. And fifth Gati is known as the Urdhva Loka Prapti. What do you mean by Urdhva Loka Prapti? So we know that there are 7 words that which are considered Urdhva Loka. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. There are the 7 lokas. In that, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha are considered as these worlds. The higher to Suvaha. Suvaha means Surga, the heavens. Higher to the Surga Loka are the Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. These lokas are known as the Urdhva Lokas. See, there are great Mahatmas. They realize the truth in this life. They are very highly evolved beings, but they don't want to become one with the supreme truth. They want to help people like us. They want to serve Bhagavan. They want to serve the universe. So they take a very subtle form, and then they reside in this Urdhva Lokas, Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, etc. And residing there, they help the serve universe. Whenever Bhagavan incarnates, they also come with Bhagavan and then help Bhagavan. Or even without, when Bhagavan asks, those Mahatmas are born in this earth, like Mahatmas, and they help us, they show us the path. So they are, anytime they can become Mukta, but they wait for all of us. As Pujya Gurudev says, I am waiting for all of you. Now, like that, it is possible for Mahatmas, anytime they can enter into the supreme Kaivalya Moksha, but because of their Karuna, that's why we call them Karuna Varunalaya. They are like the ocean of compassion. So they wait for us, they help us to conduct or walk the path of spirituality with form or without form. So it is known as the Urdhva Loka Prapti. These are all highly evolved beings. Now comes the stature, or known as the Surga Loka Prapti. Now what is Surga Loka Prapti? Who enters into Surga? People who have subtle vasanas for different kinds of sensual enjoyment. Now they want to live a long life. They want to enjoy different kinds of bhogas. Now, in Upanishad and Gita, we see this. They are entering into, because in this Prithvi, in this earth, we want to enjoy, but we can't enjoy too much because there is our body is there, this physical body is there, which will not allow us to enjoy the bhogas. If there's a limit. But because we are in Sukshma Sharira, say in the Surgaloka, etc., we have Divya Shariras, Sukshma Shariras. In that, we can enjoy like anything. This is possible. So, who enters into Surgaloka? Who has Ishta Purta? A person who has done lots of social services along with the worship of Lord. Yaga, Yajna. He has done yagas and yajnas and then done a lot of purta karma, a lot of social activities, philanthropic activities are done. Such a person was done yaga, yajna, karma kanda and service seva. When both are joined together, that person enters into Surgaloka. Now, next to Surgaloka, there is a loka known as Pitr Loka. Now, in Pitraloka also, they said that most of our ancestors enter into Pitraloka. Why? Because they are all good people. They have done their dharma. They have, taken care of their families. They have not done very bad things in their life. Good people. They were worshipping Bhagavan. Not that they are doing yaga, yajna or anything. And up to their, how much they can, accordingly, they lived a very sattvic life, a good life, a dharmic life. And then when they pass on, and then when they give up the body, they have not that much punya to enter into the surga. But they have enough punya. So they go to the Pitraloka. What is the difference between these two? It is like, one vacation, we decided to go to Paris. Okay, or to Switzerland, because we have that much money and time is there. So we go to the Switzerland or Paris, and then we enjoy a very sensuous life. Now, next year, children starts to ask us, now, where are we going this vacation? And COVID was there. Our financial condition is not that good. So we say, oh, this time we are going to Bhutan, or we are going to Goa, or wherever. So we are going to places for enjoyment, for a holiday, but we are not able to go to Paris or, So in both places, bhoga is there, but the level of bhoga, the intensity of the bhogas are maybe little different. That's why we have the Pitraloka. Now comes the next is known as the Antariksha Loka. There are some jivas, they have not that much punya also to enter into Pitraloka. So what will happen to them? They will stay in the Antariksha Loka for 1 year. That 1 year is like the like the in the Antariksha we have to stay, and in that Antariksha Loka they stay for 1 year. After 1 year, they enter into next birth. They don't go to Surgaloka or Urdhvaloka or anything. According to their karma, they enter into the next life. That is only Antariksha Loka, and that much only they have. Now comes, this much is okay. Now comes another gati known as Jaluka gati. Our scriptures talks about Jaluka gati. What is Jaluka? Jaluka means a leech. Now, if you go into the mountains, etc., you see a kind of leech which actually sucks blood. So they stay in one leaf and be waiting for a person to pass, and then they catches us. Or if they want to move, so from one leaf they catch the next leaf and then they move like that they move like that. There's no Jaluka. Like that, they say that the jiva has no punya to go into any loka. So what happens to it? That jiva enters into the next birth. Just after death, they enter to the next birth. Like let's say there's, sometimes people say, oh, there is a, dog is standing there, or there is a buffalo standing there, etc., etc. They see the last moment of their life. They say that jiva is directly going to this, this next birth. There's no going, there is no, no vacation at all. From one job, jump to the next job. That is known as the Jaluka Gati. So Jaluka Gati is the 9th one. Now 10th Gati. What is the 10th Gati? 10th Gati is known as Naraka Gati. So who goes to the Loka, Punya Loka? One who has done lot of Punya, has done lot of good deeds in this world. Because of that, they have gained lot of Punya. And when the Punya is more, they lift, they enter into the higher lokas, whether it is Pitr Loka, Surga Loka, etc. Now suppose a jiva has done lot of papa. In his, when the balance sheet is taken, when we see that the papa is more, such jivas shall enter into Naraka Loka. So the Naraka, the concept of hell, that is there in all the religions, whether it is Islam, whether it is Christianity, whether it is Buddhism, every religion, or even in our Sanatana Dharma also. What is this hell? But a little difference is there between the concept of hell in other Abrahamic religions and in Hinduism. In Abrahamic religions, it's a Nitya Naraka. You are fallen there, that's it. But in our Sanatana Dharma, we believe that this hell or the Naraka is a place where our papas can be removed by Shiksha. So when we go into the Urdhva Loka, Punya is more. When we are enjoying more and more bhoga there, Kshine Punye, our Punya will get reduced. Martya Lokam Vishanti, we come back. Now, papa is more. So we enter into Naraka Loka. In Naraka Loka, we go through different kinds of sufferings. Because of the sufferings, what happens? Our papa get destroyed up to a limit, and then they come back to the earth. So this is how the Naraka Loka is considered in Sanatana Dharma. It is not Nitya Naraka. It's like sometimes a person commits some mistakes and he's sent to the jail. He's sent to the jail. What is the jail? Jail is not just for punishment. So the jail is supposed to, give a chance for the person to, become a new person with a dharmic understanding. So like that, Naraka is also will scrub the papas from us through the yatana, and then we come back. This is known as the Dashamagati, known as Naraka Gati. Next is known as the one Ekadasha, the 11th Gati is known as the Preta Gati. What is Preta Gati? Preta means Prakarshena Itaha, one who has left the body. But many things happen. One thing is, if this jiva who is left the body is not able to understand that it is dead. Actually, the body, I have come out of my body, but I don't understand, I don't recognize that I have left the body because maybe because of an accident or because of, some unnatural death happens, and the body comes out, the jiva comes out, and jiva is not able to recognize what happened to it. So he's tried to contact the people whom he loves and then, communicate, but these people cannot see him because he is Sukshma and we are all Stula. We are in the Stula body, the gross body, and they are in subtle body. And because of that, one reason. Another reason is because so much of attachment is there in the mind of the jiva. Now he's so much attached to the body, so much attached with the people, so much attached with the world, this earthly plane. They don't want to leave the body. They leave this, earthen there's a plane, the bhuloka. Or they have very strong feelings, whether it is anger or hatred or love. Because of this strong feeling, they are not able to go into the next level of their gati. So this is known as Preta Gati. Like this, there are 11 gatis, 11 layers or 11 gatis of the, after the death. That says that there are these different 11 gatis are possible. Now we think about why we need, when we understand this gatis, then we understand the science of Pitr Tarpana, Shraaddha. One of the duty of Grihastha. As we know, all the Grihasthas are with 5 runas, 5 depths. That they are Deva Rina, Manushya Rina, Pitr Rina, Rishi Rina, and Bhuta Rina. 5 kinds of debts are there for all of us. It's a long subject. We have no time to go into that. One is known as the Pitr Rina, our debts to our ancestors. How to give this Rina? They say that by Tarpana, Pitrapinda, Pindadana, and also taking care of when they are old. It is our duty to take care of our parents and our elders. And when they pass away, we have to give them a proper burial or etc. And then after that, we have to do their Pitr Tarpana, Pinda Tarpana. Not only that, you have to bring the next generation, giving the right values to the next generation. That's also known as Pitra Yajna. So we are supposed to do all that. Now, why we should do this? Many people ask, see, suppose my father or my mother or my guru, my elder, he got, he has gone into higher worlds. Okay, like Satyaloka, etc. You see, they are not depending upon our Pindadana because they are in a higher world. They are not depending upon us. Okay, so why should we do? Because we do not know. We hope that they all entered into their higher worlds, but we do not know. Okay, so because we do not know, we should do. Now, it is our duty that we should do the Tarpana, Pitra Pindadana Adi. Okay, but this Punya, they don't want it. What will happen? Please don't worry. That Punya will come back to our account. See, it is like this. Okay, so we are doing karma. It doesn't mean that Punya will come to us, and when we leave our body, that Punya will help us to go into the higher worlds. Now, so up to all the Urdhvaloka, Ishtadevadaloka, or so like that. Now, what about Surga? Surga and Pitraloka. The Pitra karma is more important for those Pitras of ours who have entered into Pitraloka and Surgaloka. Why? How? Say, it is like this. So when we go to a foreign land, see, we have a visiting visa, a tourist visa. Okay, with this tourist visa, we can go to a place, but we cannot work there. Okay, I go to Switzerland, I have a certain amount with me. So I stay there, I spend, I do not earn, I only spend. And once my my entire money is over, I have to come back, isn't it? Now it's like Pitraloka and Surgaloka are like that. The currency, the currency is only our punya. All those, when we have whatever punya karma we have, and because of that, we have earned a lot of punya, and that is the only currency, that the only punya alone comes with us. No wealth of this world, not even our clothes can come with us, but the punya comes with the jiva. Now with this punya, we enter into the Pitraloka or Surgaloka, and as we enjoy the bhogas of those realms, our punya, punya becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. And then comes a time where we have to re-enter into the world. Now here comes the help of the Pindadana. Suppose our Pitras are in Surgaloka or in Pitraloka. See, they cannot earn there. See, I am in Switzerland. I cannot work there. But what you can all send some money. Now, I can't work and earn money, but my relatives or my friends can send some money to my account. So because of that account, I can continue staying there. isn't it? Is it possible? Like that, when we do the Pitr Tarpana, Pindadana, Adi Karma, that punya will be deposited in our karmic, karmic bank. Because of that punya deposit, we can stay for some more time. And you see, they are in Urdhvalokas. Okay. See, some of our relatives, suppose they are in the Prime Minister's office, they can help us. Isn't it? Like that, they are also, these people are also in the Urdhvaloka. So they are they can have that Nigraha, Anugraha Shakti up to a limit. So they can actually help us, they can bless us, they can help you all, they can remove some obstacles from our path. Also, they can create some obstacles in our, because they are in such a position. And so when we do the Pindadanadi, then what happens? They can stay for longer period, they are happy, and then, and then it becomes more easier for us. They will bless us, they understand us, they help. So this is the now what happened to those people of this antariksha? See, we know about quarantine periods now after the COVID. This quarantine. So what is the moment the body we leave the body, we are first entered into a quarantine period of 15 days. Why? That is the 1 day of Pitrs. Our 15 days is equal to 1 day of the Pitrs. So in that quarantine period, we will be in this earth. We will be in a, where we love, where we feel that I belongs to our house, our wherever their connections are there, they are there. That's why we are supposed to do some very specific Pindadanadi at that time. And then comes the 41 days, they are in the Bhumi, Antariksha Loka. Bhumi Antariksha, 41 days. That's why in many communities we have a special, special on after 15 days, 16th day there is a ceremony, but some does on the 13th day. That's one. And come 41st day, but one mandala, also there is a karma. Okay, so because then they release from the earthen level to the Antariksha. There they stay for 1 day of Devatas. 1 day of Devatas equal to 1 year of human beings. That's why the first Shraaddha after death is very, very important, because that is the time the Jiva is released from the Antariksha Loka and goes into, whether it's going to Pitr Loka, whether it's going to Surga Loka, or whether it's going to, to be reborn, everything happens. So that one, not of the Mahatmas who has already gained, okay, not the Urdhvaloka, but all other Jivas, they stay for this, in this Antariksha, in the space for a day of Devatas, and then they are released. Now comes the question, suppose some of my ancestors are fallen into the Naraka, then what will happen to me, to them? If I do karma, what will happen to them? They say that they are, that day when we are offering the Pitr, because of that punya, their Naraka Yatana, the sufferings in the Naraka will be reduced. Suppose this Jiva is already born. Now, somebody of my ancestor has born as a cow. Suppose, okay, the Garuda Purana says that the day we offer Pinda for that day, for that Pitr, believe that even that Jiva who is staying in the body of a cow, suppose he will get good food, water. The master will not beat him. See, that much. See, in all this, our Shastra alone is pramana for us. So they say that the Shraaddha karma is very, very important. Why Shraaddha? Because Shraddhaya idam, that which we perform with great Shraddha, faith. We do not know what happens to the Jiva, but Shastra says that these are the ways, and if you perform the karma, our Pitrus will be satisfied. And suppose that are in the, whether they are in the Urdhvaloka, in the Pitraloka or Devaloka or in Naraka or even another Jiva, they will be benefited. And if they are Mukta Purusha, that punya comes to us. So nothing is wasted. No karma is wasted. and by the so our duty, and that karma also gives us punya. And another reason is also there. The Purana says that, see, a boy, a child, a girl, a child is seeing that his father, his mother, they are fasting the previous day with great faith. Getting up, taking bath, and then they are offering their Shraaddha to their father, their mother, their grandfather, etc. A small child is seeing this. So what happens? Not in the in the mind, but in his unconscious and subconscious mind, a sankalpa or a samskara is created. He feels, you see, my father is offering this pinda for his his father or his grandfather or grandmother or mother, etc., with so much of Shraaddha. Now I see that my father is taking care of his father and mother with so much of love and respect even after the death. How careful I should be, how much Shraaddha I should have towards my father and mother, how much I should serve and take care of my father and mother. You see, this is not in a conscious mind, but it's in a subconscious and unconscious mind. Such samskaras are planted. So it's actually a very elaborate subject. So these are the different gatis, and that's why it is a duty for each and every grihastha to perform Pitr karma and never to give up this great understanding. We offer the Pitr karma, pindadana, tarpana, etc. And that will be a great blessing for the self, for the individual, and for the society, and for the entire culture and traditions of our land. That much, I think I have almost closed my time also. But I'm very happy that the Chinmaya Mission Mumbai has taken up a subject which is very rarely discussed. And I pray to Puja Gurudev, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, and Sri Bhagavan to bless all of us and to give us this understanding, and we will practice in our life. Thank you very much, Swamiji. Thank you very much, the Chinmaya Mission Mumbai team, to give me a chance. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Swamiji, for explaining beautifully this Maranantara Gati and for whom the Shraaddha is applicable, how it is applicable, and what happens when we do. So very beautifully you have laid the foundation, and the whole 11 gatis are very beautifully explained, and that's how our Shastra is very systematic. For every possibility, there is the option that what should be done, what should not be done. So very amazing. So questions, yes, we will be taking after some time. Manisha ji, you can note down the questions, and in the Q&A session, then we can ask Swamiji also. So like Swamiji said, this is a duty for the Grahastha. Even in the convocation address in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it comes, Deva Pitr Karyabhyam na Pramaritavyam. One should not postpone this Deva Karya, Pitr Karya. In the Kurma Puran, specifically about the Mahalaya Amavasya day, because on that day, suppose we don't remember the Shraaddha, we have not done the Shraaddha on the Tithi when the person has passed on. Mahalaya Amavasya is the day when it is Sarva Pitra Amavasya. So for all the Pitrus, the Shraddha is done. So as a duty, when it is said here, so Kurma Puran says that on the day of the Amavasya, which is the Mahalaya Amavasya, the Pitrus, assuming a subtle form, come to the door of the Grihasthi and mark whether Shraddha is being performed by the family members or not. And this they do till sunset. When the sun sets, being oppressed by hunger and thirst, they become full of despair, feel sorrow, breathe heavily for a long time, and they go away very sad, and sometimes they become angry also. And so they say that the Pitrus of him who does not offer Shraddha on Amavasya or even water or vegetables go away very dejected, and some of them may even get angry on them. So that is one of the things what they call as a Pitru dosha also. Now, what is Shraddha actually? As Swamiji said earlier, it is based on Shraddha, on faith that the Jiva continues their journey after life. And as per their karma, the Jiva gets appropriate gatis. So, Brahma Purana defines Shraddha as follows. So it says, Deshe kale cha patre cha shraddhaya vidhina cha yat Pitrun uddishya viprebhyo dattam shraddham udahritam. So what does that mean? Whatever is given with faith to the Brahmanas, intending it for the Pitrus, for the forefathers or ancestors, for their benefit, at a proper time, at a proper place, to the deserving persons, and in accordance with the procedures given in the Shastra. That is called a Shraddha. Because many times people ask, instead of doing the Shraddha, can I not just do Dan, feed the poor people, go and do some donation in an orphanage? That also you can do. But if you remember what Swamiji said in his talk, that comes under Ishta and Purta. That will give punya, and that Jiva has gone to the heaven. So some punya one may generate, but Shraddha has very specific procedure the Shastra gives. And one has to do it according to that, then the proper karma phala also will come. And it will benefit both the person doing it and the recipient also. And the Shraddha is that this will reach. Because some people think like that, that how does it reach them? We are offering food here, the Brahmana is eating food here, we are offering Pindadan here, we are offering water here. How will it reach them? Because everything remains here only. So, it very beautifully, the explanation is given in our scriptures that there are devatas. In the Sanatana Dharma, there is a misunderstanding some people have that there are 33 koti devatas, meaning 33 crores. But in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhashya, Shankaracharya ji explains 33 koti is 33 categories. They are not 33 crores. So 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas. 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas will become 31. Then Indra and Brahaspati. In some places they will say Ashwini Kumars also. Those are 33. So when Shraddha Karma is done, the mantras that are chanted, the bhavana with which it is done, the person who is doing that, the intention with which it is done, all this, the ritual itself, it will invoke the devatas. Who are the devatas for the Shraddha? The Vasus, the Rudras and the Adityas. They represent the 3 generations of our ancestors. And it is their duty to convey this punya to the Jiva in whichever gati the Jiva is. Obviously not the realized person. That Swamiji already told you that punya comes back to the person, but others. And so one should not feel that what is the use of doing this? It all remains here. And some people have that feeling, that these Brahmanas are just, this is a scam created by the Brahmanas just to, that they can get more wealth and they can get more respect and all that. That's why Shraddha is based on Shraddha. And why it is said Brahmana? Because Brahmana is aware of the whole process, is doing the daily sadhanas, knows how to invoke the devatas, chants the mantra, lives in certain purity. So it's important. Can we say that why is it that only the doctors are treating people in hospitals? Because they are qualified. So Brahmanas are qualified and they will do this Shraddha properly, the karmas, invoke the devatas, chant the mantras appropriately, do the proper offerings, and the bhoja, what they do, the Pitrus also come into the Brahmanas and receive the offerings. We will see all that. So the meaning of the Shraaddha is this: whatever is offered with Shraddha, and there are these four important aspects of Shraaddha. It is performed by a competent descendant of the dead ancestor with faith and Shraddha. Here's the first one. So generally it will be the son or a male relative, nearest male relative, etc. Why? Because the same Gotra person is invoking the ancestors. He is doing the Shraddha for the ancestors. So the same Gotra, that boy will have the same Gotra. The girl changes the Gotra. So generally it will be said that the boy does, or the man does, the Shraddha. So a competent descendant has to do the Shraddha with Shraddha, first point. Second point, it is done for the benefit of 3 generations minimum. So father, grandfather, great-grandfather. It has to be executed at the appropriate time and place as determined by the scriptures and the family traditions. So many sacred places are there where it can be done, then the punya is much more. And the scriptures give the importance of the place, etc. We will see as we go along. And it may be accompanied by giving either cooked food or uncooked articles of food or money or gold, etc. to the worthy brahmanas. There is list of qualifications for the brahmana also which the Shastra gives. The person, the basic minimum should be that person should be Shrotriya, should have at least studied one Veda, and should be living the lifestyle as a qualities which are given in the scriptures, that what are the qualities of a brahmana and what are the duties of such a brahmana. One should be following that properly. So it is not that anybody who just born a Brahman can do that. No, the scriptures give proper, and that's why it is important to identify such brahmanas and then do the Shraddha. Now, obviously, the Shraddha karma is based on the karma siddhanta and punarjanma. Swamiji already spoke about the gatis that happen, and then how after those gatis, as per their karma, one takes proper births again. So the jiva continues. And so when it was asked that how the food which a brahmana invited at a Shraddha eats, or which is offered into the fire, is enjoyed by the departed spirits. So in the Matsya Puran, chapter 19, verse 2, this question is asked. And the answer given is verses 3 to 9. The father, the fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers are identified with Vasus, Rudras and Adityas respectively, according to the Vedas. This is not given in the Puranas just like that. As per the Vedas, the Matsya Puran says. And that the name and the Gotra mentioned at the time of the Shraddha, the mantras uttered, and the faith that this reaches the Pitrus, that will ensure that all this reaches. And they have given very clearly, like Swamiji gave you explanation of different gatis. So it is said that if the forefather has become a devata, has gone to punya, has gone to Devaloka, then the food that is offered in Shraddha becomes nectar and follows him in the state of godhood. If he has become a human, then one will have a good body, one will have a proper, good family, wealth, all that. If one has become a Daitya, then it will reach him in the form of various other enjoyments that they want. If he has become a beast, then it becomes grass for him. If he has become a snake, it waits upon him as a wind. Just like we have currency conversion, appropriate country you go, you take the dollar, you can give there, it becomes the local currency, you can change. Like that, the punya generated through this, it will reach appropriately in the appropriate bodies. So we don't have to worry that Bhagwan's system is there and it will reach. So these deities, they take the offerings to the Pitrus, the mantras that are chanted, they convey the offerings to the Pitrus wherever they are, and they also bless the living descendants here. The Devatas also bless, the Pitrus also bless. And So that's how it is. In one place in Markandeya Puran, it is said, see, all this is given in the scripture and it's a matter of Shraddha. Great rishis who are of pure mind, they have understood this, experienced this, they have explained all this in the scripture. So we follow it and it will benefit. There's nothing to lose in any case. Scriptures go to the extent of saying that there is no need of any elaborate arrangements if you don't have the wealth, if you don't have the means to do that. You can even do simple meal, or you can just give one ball of rice also to a Brahmana, but with the bhav. So anybody can do this. It is not that only it requires lot of resources and wealth and only wealthy people can do. Those are wrong notions. And the scriptures give two very beautiful analogies. In Matsya Puran, there's a nice analogy that how a calf can find its mother in hundreds of cows that are scattered on a meadow. In Matsya Puran 141.76, this beautiful mantra is there where it says how a calf will find its mother even in hundreds of cows which are scattered in a meadow. In that same way, the mantras repeated in Shraaddha carry the food to the Pitrus. Yatha Goshu Pranashtasu Vatso Vindati Mataram Tatha Shraaddheshu Drishtanto Mantra Prapayate Tutam. Beautiful mantra. So scriptures say that it will reach. That is one point. Now, Bauddha and Dharma Sutras also say that sometimes Pitrus also move about in the form of birds and specifically crows. And that's why we offer to the crow, we offer to the cow, we offer to the dog, as a part of Bhutarana also one does. But even for Pitrus, because the Puranas, they say that. So the Pitrus move about in the form of the bird sometimes. They come into the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas, that's why they are eligible, they are qualified. They have to invoke the Pitrus. And generally in the Brahmana Bhoja, when it is done, one feeds the Brahmana what that departed Jiva likes. Now, it is very, in the Vedas, the word Shraaddha by itself directly is not very, very common. Like we find in Kathopanishad, it is there. And it is actually said that in Kathopanishad that whoever chants this Kathopanishad during this Shraddha Kala, they get unlimited result. So, Ya imam paramam guhyam Shravaya Brahma Samsadi Prayata Shraddha Kaleva Tadanantyaya Kalpate. So, even the chanting, along with whatever rituals we do, because many times we may not know the deeper meaning of all the rituals that we do, but we do with Shraddha that it benefits. But even the chanting of Kathopanishad will help the person here and the departed. Now, there are technical, many different aspects that I'm not going to go into that who is the adhikari for the Shraddha, etc. As I said, the son has to do, the nearest male relative has to do, and a lot of things are given. But one thing I just want to explain here, see, in this Smriti Artha Sara, it says that generally the son who has done the Upanayanam ceremony, etc., becomes qualified to chant the Veda mantras also, and then so that son has to do. Eldest son or any other of the sons of that person has to do. But it also gives an exception. So suppose the Upanayana Samskar is not done and the father has gone before that. So it says that the boys whose Upanayana has not been performed, women and Shudras should get the Shraddhas performed through a priest. So they can find a Brahmana and get it done. Or they may themselves perform them without mantras, but only mention the name and the gotra of the deceased with the two mantras Devebhyo Namaha and Pitrabhyo Svadha Namaha. So the above discussion shows that men and women, adults as well as children, those who are Upanita as well as those that are not Upanita, are under an obligation to perform Shraddha. So it is our duty. And we can't say that, no, I can't do, or I'm not qualified to do. Then we have to find a qualified person and get it done. And the scriptures, they give very, very clearly the whole process of how it should be done. So the time, now it is very interesting. See the time. In the scriptures, it is said, the most common day for the performance of Shraddha of the person who has departed is on the tithi on which that person passed away. So if it is Magh Shukla Panchami, then that day every year one has to do the Shraddha for at least 12 years. And the first 1 year, every month it has to be done. And then the annual Shraddha has to be done after that at least for 12 years. So that is the common aspect. Then it is said every householder of the first 3 Varnas was, or the caste, so Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, was expected to perform the Panchamahayagnas, which Swamiji spoke about also, the 5 sacrifices every day, in which Pitr Yagna or Tarpan, Tarpan is offering water. So water with flowers, Ashtagandha, Chandan, all those things one offers. And this Tarpan, when it is offered, it's an integral part of the duty of Pitru Yagna to be done every day. Then Shraddhas also are performed on certain days considered as good or auspicious. So Amavasya day, Ashtaka days, the 8th day in the dark fortnight of the months of Margashirsha, of Pausha, of Magha, of Falgun, or the dark half of any month. The 2 Ayanas or the solstices, in which comes in June and January, the Sankranti days, the 12 Sankranti days, and even on joyous occasions. So it is not that Shraddha is done only for the departed, that is one aspect. But if you see the classification of Shraddhas, even on joyous occasion, if a child is born, if a house is taken, if marriage is to be done, there also Shraddhas are done to invoke the blessings of the ancestors. Certain periods like eclipse days, they are considered very auspicious. Then certain days classified as Yugadi or Manvantara by the lunar calendars are extremely auspicious for the performance of the Shraddha. Now, coming to the place of Shraddha, so it is said a clean spot sloping towards the south is recommended, because south is the direction for the Pitrus. It is, if it is not frequented by people and it can be covered on all sides, it becomes an ideal place. However, performing it in one's own house also is very common and convenient. If it is performed in specific holy places, pilgrimage places, like Gaya, so there's a lot of Mahima of Gaya Shraddha. And generally it is said that when after 12 years, a person does the Shraddha in Gaya, after that one doesn't need to do Shraddha for the ancestors. For the paternal side, for the maternal side in Siddhpur. But there are two opinions. Some people say, no, you cannot stop, you should continue to do Shraddha. Because like Swamiji said, the time period of ours and departed is very different. So whatever Shraddha we have to do, we keep doing, it will benefit the Pitrus. But some people say, no, after a certain number of years, you don't need to do. So 2 different opinions are there. Now these Shraddhas also are very interesting. It is this specifically this Mahalaya Amavasya Shraddha is very, very, very auspicious. See here, I'm just going to read one portion here, just to make you aware that on 25th, when we are doing this Shraddha Karma, why it is so important. So there are 96 Shraddhas to be performed in a year. There are 12 Shraddhas on the 12 Amavasyas, 4 Shraddhas on the Yugadi days, 14 Shraddhas on the Manvantradi days, the Shraddhas on 12 Sankrantis, the 13 Shraddhas on the yoga called Dhriti, and 13 Shraddhas on Vyatipata Yoga, the 16 Mahalaya Shraddhas, the 4 Anvashtaka days, the 4 Ashtaka days, and 4 days of the previous of the day previous to the Ashtakas. These are the 96 Shraddhas in a year. Now, what is said here? It is said that not everybody can do all these 96 Shraddhas. So it is said that on one day, Mahalaya Shraddha day, if one does Shraddha, all the other Shraddha karmas obligation gets fulfilled on this one day. Mahalaya. That's why it's called Mahalaya. Alaya is abode. Maha is the is great. So this Pitru Paksha is the time when the Pitrus, like we saw the scriptures, they say they visit the earth and they visit the family, and that is one reason why one doesn't travel during these days. One doesn't do any other ceremonies, because this is a period exclusively to do our obligatory duties towards the Pitrus. And as I said earlier, if the Tithi is not known, then on the Mahalaya Amavasya day, definitely one does the Shraddha. And the scriptures give that why this portion, the dark fortnight of Bhadrapada, why that is important for the Shraddha Paksha. That's why it is called Shraddha Paksha. In the whole year, it is the Shraddha Paksha. And in that Shraddha Paksha, Mahalaya is the most important day. And so the Shraddhas are different Shraddhas through the year one does. Certain Shraddhas are called Nitya Shraddha, which are to be done daily. What we spoke about, the Pitru karma that has to be done daily at Pitru Yajna, that's one's duty, Nitya karma that is. Then Naimitika are on special occasions like birth of a child, etc. Then there is Kamya Shraddha also, for any fulfillment of a desire that one has, specific desire fulfillment. Then Shraddha is done even for that. And so there are different types of Shraddhas. One Shraddha is called, so, and interesting is this Pitru, this Kamya Shraddha, when it is done, because it is a fulfillment of one's personal desire, as many people are fed on that day, Brahmanas are fed on that day, that much punya and that much help to fulfill the desire. So depending on the type of Shraddha also, the ritual varies. Why I'm saying all this is because there are a lot of wrong notions in our mind about Shraddha, that only for the deceased it has to be done, only when the person, it will help the departed, or sometimes people don't even have Shraddha that it will help them. But Shraddha is done. If you see Ramayana, if you read, when Bhagwan Ram is born, then the Nandimukha Shraddha is done, because the son is born. Before the wedding of Bhagwan Ram and Sita ji, again Shraddha is done. So we invoke the blessings of the Pitrus. So different classifications of Shraddha also are there. And we should know all these, because it will create impact in our life and in the life of the ancestors also. So in classification of Shraddha, there is one Shraddha called Ekodishta Shraddha, which is meant for only one specific ancestor. Then it is, second is called Parvana Shraddha, where the 3 pindas are there for the 3 succeeding, for the 3 generations, father, grandfather, great grandfather. Then there is Sapinda, Sapindikarana it is called. So Sapinda Shraddha, which is done, where it is done on the 12th day after death, so that the jiva gets proper body. How interesting is this? Father and mother have done so much for a child, given birth to the child, raised up the child. There is no way to repay the debt of the parents. This karma is one way by which we can ensure that the parents get a good body further. How nice is this? That parents who gave us a physical body going through so much of difficulties, at least we have some way to ensure that they get a proper body, a good janma, and they move forward in their evolution. So that is beautiful aspect of how Shraddha can help us to fulfill our obligation in some ways to our parents, to our ancestors. Then Vriddhi Shraddha is also called Nandimukha Shraddha. That is performed on auspicious occasions like marriage, entering a new house, etc. And so in this Shraddha, again, the three paternal ancestors beyond the great grandfather, they are called Nandimukha Pitrus. They are satiated by appropriate rites. So like that, Shraddha is an integral part of the daily life. It's not only for the departed. It is on auspicious occasions. It is on festivals also. Do you know on Deepavali day, during that time especially, we are supposed to do Shraddha. But we have forgotten many of these things. We have only used to now, exchanging sweets, bursting some crackers, going out, traveling. But one is supposed to do Abhyanga Snan, one is supposed to do the Tarpan, one is supposed to do this Parvana Shraddha, all that. So it is important for us to understand the concept of Shraddha, why it is to be done, how it will benefit us and the departed, when it is to be done, and who all, how it is to be done, the whole process of it. That is how we will revive our Sanatana Dharma. Ancestral worship is there across the world, but the way in which it is there in our culture is incomparable. And we should be proud of this great legacy of our culture. We have our Sanatana Dharma, and the revival of that Sanatana Dharma will happen only when we understand this properly and we do it as our obligatory duty with Shraddha. And the Shraddha comes with proper study, understanding, knowledge. There is the ritual part which will give the result, and then there is also the portion which is the bhavana part, the feeling. So I'm going to conclude here by this with this small video of Puja Gurudev, where he explains about the feeling and the importance of being connected to our ancestors and the values. And then we will do the Q&A session.
When once a Sangara has come, Sangara, confusion in society or the duties of each individual member of the community is all gone. Narakayeva kulagnanam kulasyaja. They will be destroying the kula of the family, destroying and killing the family, or the family unity and integrity. Patandi pitaro hesham. And even their forefathers will get into confusion, into neglect rather. No more offerings to the ancestors. Now the offering to the ancestors is a ritual. The present day can live only with its roots in the past. Present is born out of the past. The past is the cause, the present is the effect. The present is always rooted in the past. The roots are forgotten. We are no more grateful to the past. When we have no respect and reverence and gratefulness to the past, we have no identity in the present. We are here by accident, as it were. There is a continuity in the procession of things in the past is the cause for the present, and the present is the cause for the future. In the medium of time, things are happening, because this is Einsteinian world of time and space. So the world of plurality in which we are at this moment living and transacting business, this world, your history, your traditions, your own character is all from the past, isn't it? Those who are doctors here, how did you become a doctor? Is it that you just slept and woke up as a doctor? Is it by contagion that you became a doctor or engineer? Is it not that you are a doctor today because of the past where you spend your time in the medical college? Similarly, those who are engineers, those are people who in the past went to the engineering college. I am neither a doctor or engineer. All that I know is the Bhagavad Gita. How did it happen? How did it happen? All the past I have been studying it, mastering it, thinking about it. So today I am the product of my past pursuits. Every one of you is, whether you recognize it or not. The fact is, you are the product of the past. The present is the product of the past. To recognize the past, both its strength and its weaknesses, and to maintain that stream is to build up a greater and a brighter future. Thus the ancestors are neglected, meaning you will have no more any cultural contact with the past, and you will be going astray in your progress for the future.
Okay. So that is what is the beautiful understanding that Pujya Gurudev gave us, that how we should be in cultural contact with the past and carry forward that culture, especially this subtle culture of ours, the Sanatana Dharma, that we should carry forward because it is so deep, so beautiful, so rational, so systematic. It's our responsibility to pass on this to the next generation. So this is where I will stop, and we can take up questions. Manisha ji, if you have noted down, then you can ask, and Swamiji can.
Yes, Swamiji, the questions were asked even before your talk started. So many of the questions you have answered already in the talk. So I'll take those which are not being answered. That way. So why are these 15 days of fortnight important? That you have already covered. Can girls do the Shraaddha if you don't have son?
One minute, Manisha ji. So, Swamiji, if you want to answer a little more on that question, why are these 15 days more important, then you can please answer.
Hari Om. So I actually mentioned it. The ones, an ordinary jiva, I'm not talking about a realized master or a person who goes into the Urdhva. The other jivas, now about them we hear in the Gita as the Dakshinayana Gadi and Uttarayana Gadi, etc. But for a common jiva who are only eligible to go to the Pitr Loka, etc., those jivas, they stay with the, in this, as I was telling, the quarantine period of 15 days. The 15 days is the one day of the Pitras. So they stay with our, where it get connected with the place where he feels that it is his home, the jiva, they stay back with us. So that's why that 15 days are considered as the ashaucha for us, because the preta sanidhya is there. That person who has passed away is still, that jiva is with us. So that's why we are not supposed to enter into the temples and ashaucha, any, even though not to our puja room, because we don't want to contaminate the sacred place. Okay, so that's why 15 days. But then nowadays in many communities are only 12 days, not 13 days. Because for persons who are performing the three sandhyaha, prata sandhya, madhyam sandhya, and sayam sandhya, believe that if we are practicing it, then that person is not supposed, no need to wait for 15 days. So that from the 15 days, 3 days will be reduced. Under 12th day itself, he get gati because of his upasana. But nowadays, it becomes just like, just because I'm born in a family, I only do 12 days. But the Pitr karma, that karma gati says it is 15 days because of the Pitr paksha. One paksha is 1 day of the Pitras. So this is the first quarantine. The second quarantine is the 41 days of quarantine in the Bhumi, the Andariksha space of the Bhumi, and then 1 year the entire space as the quarantine for Deva. That is known as the 1 day of the Devatas. That's why these 15 days are important. Is it clear?
Yes, Swamiji. Manisha ji, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next.
Can girls do the Shraaddha if you don't have son?
Swamiji.
So wherever there is that, we have two kinds of continuity of the family. So wherever the Pitradaya is there, when paternal traditions are followed, there they say that the sons are supposed to do. Now there is Matradaya Krama, especially in Kerala, etc., among some castes, etc. Matradaya is there. I mean, the mother, maternal, the family line is continued. So wherever Matradaya karma is there even ladies are allowed to do the Shraaddha karmas. In Kerala, etc., amongst Nayars and Kshatriyas, etc., even the ladies are allowed to do Pitr karma because they follow the Matradaya karma. Now, in many of other societies, because they are following the Pitradaya karma, they insist that the son is supposed to do. Now, when somebody asks if son is not there, then what? Then, suppose there is no son, then that person is supposed to initiate a person into Gayatri. Suppose if I initiate a person into Gayatri, that person becomes my spiritual son. So that spiritual son can perform the karma. Now, I don't have a spiritual son also. I don't have sons also. Then they say, your brother's son can do. Now, the brother also have no son. Only I have daughters. Then the daughter's son can do. Now, so Shastra, as I said, if it is a Pitradaya karma, suppose the sons are supposed to perform the this karma. But as in Matradaya, mother ladies also are allowed to. It is not because of gender difference. It's not like the good girls should not be done, etc. Because the Pitradaya and Matradaya, whom we look towards the, if it's like a Pitradaya, then it is then that's what the Shastra says. But nowadays, I think in many places the ladies also started to do the karma. That is maybe Kalagati. So Shastra is this what kind of Daya karma is there in your family, and accordingly the karma is there. And another problem is, see, in this Pitr karma, in Pitr karma's time, there should be total purity and all that. Now, if ladies cannot perform that karma, etc., then that also becomes a obstacles. Maybe because of so many other such reasons, the Shastra is asking the boys to do. So if suppose direct sons are not, there are other options Shastra has given to us. Swamiji, you want to add something?
No, Swamiji, done.
Yeah. The next is doing Shraddha in Gaya, is it more auspicious? I think that you already answered, Swamiji. What is
Yeah. See, they say that there is a Pitr Devata lying in India, Bharatavarsha. That Pitr Devata's father is in Gaya, Nabhi is in Varanasi, Hridaya is Mayapuri. Mayapuri is Haridwar, and the Shiras is in Badrinath, Brahmakapala. So a person who offers the Pindadana in the same krama, from the father to the Shiras, their forefathers will gain lot of punya. Okay. Now there is a there is nobody to take care of the Shraddha, etc. Then we can do this karma and then do samarpana of the jiva at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. But that is only apad dharma, not nitya dharma. See, now I am there and my father, is passed away. Just because I don't want to do the karma, I cannot just go to that is to the Gaya or Kashi and then do and then done with it. That is not the Shastra's purpose. Was Shastra is telling apad dharma. Suppose something happens and there are nobody to do the, so at least you do the karma and do the layam, we offer that jiva at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. See, that is an apad dharma, not sadharana dharma. So apad dharma cannot be taken as a sadharana dharma. So we also can go to these places, as I said, from the father to the head and offer our shraddhas for them. That will give that jiva great punya. Okay, and then his punya shall stay for a long time. But it is not that after doing that I should not continue the Shraddha karma. That is not the intention of the Shastra. Shastra is telling in apad kala you do this and do the sarvarpana. But as long as we are able to live, we are able to do the Shraddha adi karma, we should continue it.
Again, only 1 year Shraddha is to be performed, or are you supposed to continue doing it annually forever?
Just now Swamiji answered that. He
Yeah.
said we have to continue to do it.
If a person has passed just 3 weeks before Pitru Paksha, can the Shraddha karma be performed for that person?
What was that?
If a person has passed away just 3 weeks before this Pitru Paksha, then can we still do the Shraddha karma? I think because that 41 days you have said, that is why.
No. Of course we can do, but see, like in the Pitr Paksha, there is a there's a day for the mother, there's a day for father, etc. So even if we are not doing that on the Mahalaya day, we can perform for the Jiva also.
If we like in the past we did not know the correct way of performing and it was not done correctly earlier, is there a way to mend it now?
Yeah, for that we have prayaschitta karma when we are doing the next time. So we, as we remember our Pitrs and then beg for their forgiveness, and then we, offer some dhanam as a prayaschitta, and then we can continue. Even suppose I have not done karma for many years, but I want to start now. So we have to do this prayaschitta. And prayaschitta means we remember them, we beg for their forgiveness, and then we do some special tila homa or some pujas and dana. Dhanam also has to be performed, and then we can start doing it again.
Swamiji, one question that generally also comes up is about Pitr dosha. Can you explain a little bit about that? What is called Pitr dosha?
Yeah. So Pitr dosha means, as I was telling, see, our Pitrs are in the, suppose, they are in the Urdhaloka. No. If the Pitrs are in, whether he is in the Pitraloka or Surgaloka or even Naragaloka. Okay. So those Pitrs of ours who are residing in these 3 lokas. Now, those people who are residing in the Pitraloka and Surgaloka, they gain special powers because they are, as I was saying, a person who is staying in Prime Minister's office, who is working, they have some special powers. Like that, these Pitrs also will have special powers to bless us and also to punish us because we are doing something which are not right, or maybe we are not taking care of our Pitrs. I mean, Pitrs means our living Pitrs are like my grandfather, great grandfathers are there. Suppose if I'm not taking care of my mother, my father, my elders of my family, that will cause a papa. Second, suppose my mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, they are passed away, and I'm not giving them, as Swamiji was telling, different kinds of Nitya Tarpana, Amavasya Tarpana, Varshika Shraaddha, Punya Shraaddha, Pitrapaksha Shraaddha, etc., etc. We are not giving. That is kind of we are not taking care of them properly. That also becomes papa. And because of such things, suppose one of my Pitr, my ancestor has become a preta. Suppose he is not because of whatever reasons, he is now in a preta gati, means he is not able to come out of his
Swamiji, your audio went, I think. Last few minutes, last few sentences, audio came? Audio went. We can't hear you, Swamiji. Something changed, Swamiji, in your setting, maybe. Now we can hear. Again, it came, it just went.
Oh, okay. So
now it's here. Yes.
So that is generally known as the Pitr Doksha. When all these papas of not taking care of our parents or not doing the Shraddhas, not taking care of our children, that also comes as the Pitr Doshas. Because we are not doing what we are supposed to do, dharma is not followed. That because of that, a papa kind of effect comes, and then that can create different problems in our family, which is generally known as Pitr dosha.
Yes, Manisha ji, go ahead. So one question has come, many different cultures don't believe in Shraddha. So how does this apply to them?
Yeah, see, actually all cultures, they have different kinds of Pitr. In different ways they are doing, whether it was Christians, Islam, everybody has their different ways. But our culture gives more clear picture of this, and the person who follows this culture, they are more benefited because the deep understanding of our ancestors. That much only. The others are not able to understand, so they do whatever they can. Of course, that will create that kind of a punya, but we have such a wisdom of thousands of years, because of which people are able to understand, and so it is our privilege to understand this more and then are able to take care of it better way than the other cultures.
So Shraddha should be not. So one place I found that small children, when they pass on, then we don't do Antyeshti karma or Shraddha karma for them.
Yes.
Why is it like that?
Because see, when the children are they say that if a child is still born, means not born from, you don't have to do anything. You have to just bury the child and then take a bath. That's enough. So suppose for up to 6 months, if the child passes away, also you have to just observe 3 days of achuchi. That's all. No need of karma, etc. And in some cultures, even up to 4 or 5 years, the child, there is no need of elaborate ritual, because that child is not yet totally identified with our kula. Is born, is in our kula, but that child never identifies with, of course, our mother and father. That is there, but that all the traditions, all the kula bandha is not yet formed. The child is so innocent, he doesn't know. We know that the children doesn't even feel that they belongs to a certain community or certain nothing. Their mind is so pure, and they are coming just to finish off some karmas of their past life. They don't have any much prarabdha in them. They just want to settle down some karmas of the previous life. So they come and then they do and then they leave. So they are not yet a part of our kula. Because of that, there's no need of any karma, because that jiva is not really part of the family. That's why no need of elaborate rituals, etc., for the infants and the children which are very small. Once the child is done the upanayana karma, then the child, then we have to do all that, because through the upanayana he becomes part of the clan. That's why. So that's why a small child, when he do the abhivadanam, etc., he should not tell his gotra, sutra, etc., because he's not yet part of the gotra. That's why.
Yes, Manisha ji. Anything else? We have
Yes.
last one question you can take, then we will stop.
Okay, then the one question which came just now, that some people donate their body parts, then they donate body parts after death. So can Shraddha be done for them? That is one question. Other questions are more or less repeated, but this is a little different question. So
Because this question is saying that can Shraddha be done, because there is no cremation done for that body. Full body is donated, not only some parts. If somebody donates the full body and there is no cremation done, then can Shraddha be done for them? That's the question.
So now, again, this is an apadharma. Apadharma means, according to our tradition, once the body, when the jiva leaves the body, that body should be cremated. But there are references in our Shastra itself that, sometimes the body is not cremated and then used for other purposes, etc. So now, what about that person? Suppose, let us go into another thing. Suppose we know that a person is died. Okay. but we did not get the body. See, without the body, we cannot do the cremation and all that things. So what we should do? The Shastra says that we are supposed to make a doll, a rupa with the kusha grass. With the kusha, we should make a a form of the body, and then that kusha, the body which is made up of kusha should be cremated. Through that, we are actually cremating the person. So suppose a person wanted to really donate that body, then in our tradition, according to our tradition, that kusha, with the kusha grass, a body should be created, and then do the sankalpa that this is that person. No, and then we cremate that that kusha grass body, and we can continue with the karma. That's what that's an apadharma, but that's how the Shastra is telling us.
Nice.
Anything else?
So, sorry, Swami, last one question here, because this keeps coming many times. So people say that, many modern youngsters, they don't believe in the Shraaddha and rituals, and they don't have knowledge also, but the parents want. So they wonder that, after us, these children are not going to do for us. So can we do our own Shraaddha before we die? Jivat Shraaddha. They want to know about Jivat Shraaddha.
Atma Pinda, they say. In our tradition, only a sannyasi is allowed to do the Atma Pinda. In our tradition. Because for a sannyasi, nobody is going to do the Pinda Dana for him. So before our sannyasa, we all do the Atma Pindam for this. Now, that is one. Second kind of people are, there were many people who were living, serving the nation or the society, and they will not get married, or like I'm just taking in one example is Devadasis. Okay, so Devadasi, they are most of the time they may not. See, Devadasis is not in the bad way. Devadasis were actually the servants of God. Okay, so they were the one who actually gave us all this, whether it's dance or music, everything by them. And most of the time they are not married, and most of the time they will not have children also. So as the part of the Devadasi Sampradaya, or a person who is living his life for the service of the nation or the society, for such people also Atma Pinda is allowed. A grihastha who is living in the household world and taking care of things is not allowed to do Atma Pinda. This is according to Shastra. Okay. Now, as nowadays, here's the thing, if the children are not want to do this karma, they say that, as I was telling before, if suppose our own children doesn't want to do the karma, then we have to find out a person. As I was telling, do the upanayana of a child, of a boy, or and then make him as our spiritual son, and then request him, give him some money, and then request him to do the karma. Suppose our own children doesn't want to, they are supposed to do this. I'm sure that they are not doing it because they don't understand the science behind it. If they understand, I'm sure that they will also will be. They don't want to do this, and there is no possibility of them to do this. Because they are staying in foreign lands and all that. Then we are supposed to take care of this before our death. We have to initiate a person into Gayatri or something, and then we take care of that person as a spiritual son, and that spiritual son is allowed to do the karmas, Shraaddha. But this also is an apadharma, not the nitya dharma.
Thank you, Swamiji. Manisha ji, go ahead.
Yes, Swamiji. So there have been many questions, and people are still asking questions, but I think the time is already up. So I would like to thank Swami Swatmanandji and Swami Shraaddhanandji for throwing so much light on because there is so much confusion and so much mystery about it, so clearly guiding us about it, and with examples that we understand, like traveling abroad, transfer of funds. So we are really clear about that, what we have as a cultural practice, how we should continue about it. So thank you so much, Swamiji, for answering our queries and guiding us. We have understood already what is the logic behind it. So we have an opportunity, especially for Mumbaikas, to perform the puja on 25th of September. The details I have already shared the details in the chat. So you can approach us and we can take it further. Only thing, it is for like actual puja. So we'll be able to accommodate only a few people. So kindly get in touch with us as early as possible.
Also, if somebody is not able to be physically present, we will be having a few limited brahmanas who will do. One brahmana will do only for one person, and we will have very limited number. So in case some of you are not able to physically be there and do the puja, you want it to be done, then you can contact the numbers and let us know, and we will see what can be done for that.
Yes, so we'll share the flyer and the details in the groups so people can contact us. Swamiji, should we conclude with Purnamada?
Yes, start.
Yeah. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you each one of you for joining us today and getting this great knowledge. We can pass it further. The videos are also shared on our YouTube channel, Chinmaya Mission Mumbai channel and Chinmaya Shivam channel. So anyone who is interested to watch it later also, they can watch the videos again. Hari Om. Thank you.
So we stopped the live streaming in between because the bandwidth was very low here in Chinmaya Vibhuti. So this recording we will upload on the YouTube.
Okay.
So people can check by tomorrow morning. It should be uploaded latest, and then you can see the recording there. Okay.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.